Today I'd like to talk about communism, why it even exists, and what purpose does it really have, what does it fulfill. Okay, first off, we need to discuss exactly what communism is. First we got to know what we're talking about. So let's talk about communism versus its opposite, fascism. Communism basically is where the government owns all businesses, they own all land. Everybody works for the government and everybody rents from the government. Now that's real simplistic, but that's basically what it is. Now fascism on the other side is where business, big business, owns and runs the government. They control everything. It's the exact opposite. They control the government. Communism, the government controls business. Fascism, business controls the government, which is basically what we got in the United States. Wall Street controls all the government. Wall Street owns and controls the RNC, the Republican National Committee, and Wall Street owns and controls the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. Truth is, communism is an extreme reaction to difficult times for the average everyday people, what some people want to call the proletariat. Truth is, it would not even exist if everybody had a decent life. It's a bad reaction to bad treatment by the rich. I mean, it all came to exist because of the rich and powerful abusing the average everyday people, the working class, the poor. And you can look back into history. If you look back, truth is, when you look at the people that were like the serfs of Europe, for over 1,200 years, they were basically enslaved. They call them serfs, but they were slaves. They had to work the land, and no matter what, they had to pay the landowner and the church so much every year. And that doesn't matter if their crops failed or not. And when they had a really good harvest, they still struggled. So if they had a year where their crops failed, they still had to pay this money. They were treated so badly. This is worse than what the slavery we see in America was. The truth is, we need a way of making sure that communism never pops up. The only reason it pops up is because of a need by people suffering. People who are not getting their basic needs fulfilled. People who suffer. Those are the people that gravitate towards communism. If there was never people suffering, there would be no communism at all. We need to have things in place like the great New Deal that FDR brought into existence. It helped spread the wealth through the people. That saved capitalism from itself, because obviously if it hadn't been for the New Deal, the United States probably would have fell into revolution, and it probably would have been a communist system that took over. So if we ever want to stop communism from being able to ever take control in this country, there's only one way to stop it. And Wall Street don't see it the same way. They'd rather just crush a bunch of heads and kill a bunch of people to save their riches. The only way to really stop communism is we got to start spreading the wealth. Got to stop the suffering. Nobody that is living a good life, I mean, decent life, I should say, is going to want communism. Nobody wants to give up all their rights and freedoms. There's only one reason for people to give up all their rights and freedoms, is if they feel that they're better off without them. And that's exactly what communism is. These are people that have given up on the society that they're being led by, the fascist system we're living under now, and they feel like, at least under a dictator, they're going to get what they need. Even if they have to lose other freedoms or rights and their liberties, at least they won't have to suffer. That's the way they look at it. It's a lie, but people will grab onto a lie when they have nothing else. We have to put most of the legislation that was put in place by the New Deal back in with FDR's time back into place. Because the 50s and 60s saw really good times. Nobody was clamoring for communism then. Nobody. And if we keep letting this go, we could end up under a communist system.